For this, there are the same instructions, simplify. We're going to do all the same things, except for I want to point out that this is not in standard form. So I'm going to show you what to do. The thing that I notice is that I have a negative x squared. I don't want it to be a negative x squared. So the first thing is I will factor out a negative. 7 minus 6x minus x squared. It's really just taking out a negative and switching all the signs. But I would show you, you don't have to write this step down. You can just skip this part. But negative 1 on the outside, negative 7 plus 6x plus x squared. Then I can write it in standard form. Negative 1 x squared plus 6x minus 7.
So, I have a question.
Normally, wait, hold on for a second. Normally, I would just take this, put a negative outside, switch the signs for everything, and write it in descending order. Like all in one step, because it's really very simple. What's your question?
So, what if I just switched it first and then took out the
That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm saying I would show all the steps. Normally, what I would do, I would just rewrite the problem. 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. And then I would just, write x squared plus 6x minus 7. I changed all the signs. And then put a negative. I would just go from this to this. That's what I would do. DJ, could you get that for me, please? Thank you. So that would be the first thing. We'll deal with this negative at the very end. If I choose to put it in the top, then I would have to put parentheses around the top. That's just a precaution, or something that I'm warning you about right now. So first, get the bottom in standard form, but by switching the sign and taking out a negative. That's the first step. Then all the same steps as before. What makes bottom 0? And you get that by setting it equal to 0. X squared plus 6x minus 7 equals 0. You can do the x method on this. Negative 7, positive 6, 7, and 1 with a negative 1. That means we have x plus 7, x minus 1 equal to 0. Set each equal to 0 and solve, and you get x equals negative 7, x equals 1. So at the very end, these are my restrictions. That was the first step. Find the restrictions. The next step is to factor each thing. So this is 1, 2, factor, top and bottom. Same as before, except for we've already factored the bottom. That looks like that. And then the top, if I factor the top, I would do super x because I can't take anything out here. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. 2 times negative 5, whoops. 2 times negative 5, negative 10. And then 2 times negative 5, negative 10. And then a 3 in the bottom. 5 and 2 with a negative 2. Don't forget, this is a super x problem, so divide by 2x. Divide by 2x. This changes to negative 1 over x by dividing by 2. So the factored top would be 2x plus 5, x minus 1. The factored bottom would be the negative, and then x plus 7, x minus 1. Factor top and bottom is done. You did that one already. And then cancel. And we're left with 2x plus 5 over x plus 7 You can keep the negative in the bottom, you can put the negative in the top, or you can put it right in the middle. Doesn't matter. They all mean the same thing. Just make sure you have parentheses around everything. And state our restrictions. X is not allowed to be -7 or 1. The only difference for today in the steps is factoring out this negative, which is a quick step. You just take out a negative and switch all the signs. I had to take out a negative and switch the signs just because this was a negative x squared. I don't want it to be a negative x squared. I want it to be positive. And the way to do that is take out a negative, switch the signs.